Hey YouTubers, this is me, Candace, and this will be the first part of a little series I'll do about my new cell phone. It is the Verizon Palm Centro, or the Palm Treo 690. So right now it'll be the, I guess you can say, physical aspects of the actual device, and nothing software based, so the phone will be off completely. And look, you can see the reflection of my Flip Video Ultra. So first things first, it's in a case. Let me take it off for you guys. Actually, I want to show you guys a little trick about these cases, these clear snap-on cases. You can see they're really difficult to pry off unless you know a little secret. Or something I discovered was the easiest way of taking them apart is finding the largest area where they're attached, finding the largest gap next to it, and just gently popping it out. So there we go. So case is off. Here's the actual Palm Centro. The Verizon version has that very nice blue color, the royal blue, I guess. Here's the Verizon logo, the screen. Okay, so let's go over the basic aspects. It is a full QWERTY keyboard smartphone running the Palm OS, but I won't dive into that. You have a four-way toggle with the middle button saying Palm on it. And then you have the 4 soft keys, I guess you can say, which has a picture of a house, envelope, telephone, and calendar, and then you have your end key right here, and your send key. Yeah, and the keyboard, I guess you can say, is super tiny. Unlike other phones, let me show you first what the first device I want to show you. This is the replacement phone I used for a month. It is the Verizon U740 I got off a guy for like 30 bucks. But anyway, as you can see, these keys are actually pretty large if you turn them sideways like this. If you compare it to the actual Treo keys. I'm not sure if they'll focus very well, but I have very small thumbs, and if you can actually see my finger compared to each key, my finger looks really fat. So yeah, so the keyboard really tiny, but one thing to know about it, it's really I guess you can squishy and tactile. So when you type on it, you can feel each button underneath your finger. So hopefully the fat in your fingers will be able to tell which key you're hitting. And also there's these little bumps on the very specific keys, like right in the middle of the 5 button. But the keyboard is very small. It will take a bit for people to get used to. Move this out of the way. But it's definitely manageable. But people with big hands, I warn you, this might not be the phone for you. It's definitely smaller than the Treo keyboards. I've used a 600 and 650 before, and this is definitely smaller. But overall, I really do like the feel of this actual keyboard because it has a great tactile feeling to it, rather than my old V phone, which all the buttons are very flat, and this U740 phone. So on the back, you have a 1.3 megapixel camera. You have the Verizon logo again, great advertisement. You have the speaker and the Palm logo. It actually looks kind of like a modernized version of the Palm logo. Self-portrait mirror. There is no flash, but the actual camera does take very decent pictures. Where you get 1.3 megapixel camera, better than the V. I guess you can say better than this, better than the 740, but not as good as the Verizon Venus, because I've tried the Verizon Venus, and pretty comparable to the iPhone. What else you get? You have your IR port, infrared port. People are phasing this out for Bluetooth, but it's still very handy. Since my mom also got a Palm Centro, she's been wanting apps I've been downloading onto the actual device, and I don't want to put HotSync on her computer because her Vista machine is slow enough, so why slow it down even more with even more software? So all I have to do is just beam her the programs, and she's a happy camper. On the side, you have the soft key, which you can program to any specification you like, and then you get your volume rocker. And on top, hallelujah, just like the iPhone, you have your vibrate on and off switch, which is so handy to have. So you won't have to fiddle around with the menus and stuff. You just switch it on and off. Very handy. Yeah, as you can see right here, there's a line separating the IR port. It's actually a door, but you're unable to reach it. On other models, I believe on the Sprint version, it'll actually say micro SD. The problem is you have to go into the battery door and take out the battery cover to access the micro SD card slot. So that's pretty of a nuisance. on with the battery cover. It's really difficult to take off for me. I fussed around with it for a little bit. Let's see, okay, time to take it off. You need to use the actual friction of your fingers to pull it off, but once you get it off, get your basic Palm battery. I believe it is 1150 milliamps, so it's pretty small. The battery life is pretty decent on the actual device, but if you can see in the corner here, little slot for your finger, take out the battery, and take out the little slot, and you can plug in your micro SD card. The full capacity of the full highest capacity the phone will accept is 4 gigabytes. So there we go. You slide in, use the friction once again of your thumbs to slide it back in. Alright, so since I have these devices sitting all over my desk, let's do a little size comparison. The best size comparison I can think about doing with this actual phone, because it's really hard to see it on film or on the web, but if you're actually holding the device in your hand, it's smaller than you think. It's lighter than you think, even though it looks pretty thick and chunky and looks very clunky, if you can say like a Treo. It's not. You're mistaken. It fits super nicely into the hand. I have small hands, so you can actually see the device. It fits perfectly. It's the perfect size. So let's see. Let's move this camera back. See, will the tripod hold up? There we go. Okay. So here is the Palm Centro, of course. Let's start out with my favorite way to show the actual size. Be shocked. This is a Bluetooth wireless Mighty Mouse. So here you can see from the height of the actual device, the Mighty Mouse is taller, considerably wider, and much heavier. This actually has 2 batteries put in, so that's why it's so heavy. But you can actually see the device. If you actually have a Mighty Mouse, it is smaller than the Mighty Mouse. So it's not a big clunker like you think it is. It's tiny. Alright, so I have a whole bunch of slew of phones I have and some random devices to do a size comparison with. Let's do the next one with, of course, my replacement phone, the U740. Here is the height. Here is the width. Let's see, you can see the width right here. See, the Palm Centro is still a little thicker, but it's curved around the edges just like the iPhone 3G, so it makes it really easy to hold in hand. You can see it opened. See it open this way. You see the actual device. Let's see, 1, 2, and the screen sizes are pretty much equal. It's 320 by 320 screen. Alright, so next thing, this is a LG Venus in a case. Let me see if I can pry it off now. Alright, not as fussy as the other one. There we go. Here's the LG Venus. It's the little, I guess I say sister of the Voyager. But here it is. Slider up. Sliding down. Height. So reflective. Oh, there's me. On the side. Back. Slide that over. Move all the stuff out of the way. Center again. Let's do an iPod mini. This is my first iPod. Beloved. But here's an iPod mini compared to the actual size. Shorter, of course, but you can see width-wise, almost the same, but the Palm Treo, of course, is a little bit thicker. Top. Here is my iPhone first generation. Take off the case. So let's see, in height, iPhone's a little bit taller, iPhone's a little skinnier, but can't blame it. Side, bottom. So that's it. I'm almost at 10 minutes, so that's a quick size comparison of the actual device. I plan on doing a little series about the Palm Centro because 10 minutes I thought was sufficient enough. Is not. So please keep sending me questions about this or the actually 5th video ultra because I still have to finish a video about that. But thanks for watching, guys.